How you doing, YouTube? Matt Mass's Beer Reviews, back with a little bit of a Valentine's Day vibes in the form of Carton Brewing. This is their Cupid. This is a chocolate malted stout brewed with roses. I've had this before. Full disclosure, I don't remember much about it, to be perfectly honest with you. So we're kind of going in this one blind. It is nitro-based, which is nice, and 6.6% alcohol by volume. That's it. On the side here, we have the little Carton diatribe. It is... Simple truth is, we wanted to make something that tastes like roses, and stout reminiscent of the simple flavors of Bach chocolate seemed to make sense. The path became clear when we embraced honesty. No need for chocolate additions, just a malt bill built around chocolatey roasts. After that, it was just some roses on the way home. Drink Cupid because that's all there was to it. Really, we swear, a straightforward inkling for Bach chocolates and some roses. Nothing else was going on. So you're talking about basically a core 4 stout with, I assume it's dry hopped on roses. Done and done. Carton special. This was canned about a month ago. Date's a little off on the bottom, but yeah. This comes courtesy of my buddy Anthony. He sent it to me, and I'm really kind of curious to see how these roses play in there. Because when I did the unboxing, I said I'm not sure how they're going to play, and one of my buddies actually Sexton, he does Sexton beer reviews. You go check him out. He's up from Canada way, super good dude. He was kind of like, I think those roses might play, and it kind of makes sense because roses are what I said at the time of the unboxing, kind of a very soft and gentle kind of flower, but at the same time they're perfumey and they're a bit kind of brash at the same time. It's very cool. So I'm curious to see how this plays. Yeah, label-wise, Carton to a T. Augie don't play. He does the same thing over and over again, or his marketing team does at least. And yeah, looks the part of a stout. I mean, nothing too crazy. You can get a little bit of light through the edges. So she looks the color of a proper low ABV stout. Let's see if we can get a nose. I mean, it really is a whole pile of heaping bits and pieces of chocolate. You're getting multiple different kinds of chocolate in there. You're getting your base kind of baker's chocolate, a little bit of semi-sweet chocolate, even just a slight dabble of the kind of milk chocolate. No roses, really, on the nose. I expected there to be a decent amount of rose in the actual, nose of the beer, because of how perfumey roses come, but I'm not really getting that here. It's not really showing too much. I mean, you could say I'm getting a slight generic floral characteristic, but that could either be hops or me just placebo affecting it because of what this beer says and what it's all about. It smells like a nice low ABV stout that is chocolate leaning, so that's cool that there's no additions to it other than malt. Let's just dive in. Cheers. Yeah, I mean, it is really a softly, that's a better word, softly roasted malt chocolate stout. I do get that little subtle, it's not nearly as big as most beers, but a little subtle of that bittering astringency I'm very kind of sensitive to, especially on lower ABV beers, but it doesn't even get close to kind of ruining the beer for me. This is more of a me problem than most people's problem. It's something I'm really, really susceptible to. Now, roses. I can say that I get it. It's not hitting me over the face with a big, huge 24 bushel of roses. That's not what it's doing. But there is a soft floral element underneath. It is not placebo effect. I am not imagining it. It's there, but it's very soft and very gentle. And this beer is not big to begin with. I mean, the ABV is low, but you can have a lot of these kind of lowerish 6 and change ABVs. Beers kind of show up larger, come with a big presence. That's not what's happening here. It's a relatively small beer, but that floral rose component doesn't come off the way I'd imagine it was going to come off. I thought it was going to come off a little bit more kind of perfumey. Here it comes off a little bit more kind of herbal, a little bit more tannic, a little bit more like tea-like. Like imagine making a rose tea, that kind of thing, as opposed to what you would think about a actual huffing and smelling a rose. That's how it comes off to me. So I can get it. because when you get to that portion of the show, and you know it's there, but it's not a 2x4 to the face, and let that chocolate kind of wash over, it does kind of make sense. That whole box of roses, box of roses, bundle of roses, bushel of roses, bouquet of roses, whatever you want to call it, and chocolate, it does kind of make sense. Is it like the what I would call the grandma candy, because the Valentine's Day candy is pretty much grandma candy for a special occasion? It doesn't really give me those grandma candy vibes. The candies I'm talking about, I've talked about them ad nauseum. You take the lid off and there's a little kind of legend that tells you what each candy is. Those kind of things. Does it elicit that kind of box candy? No, but it gives me chocolate. It gives me that soft floral note that comes off a little bit herbal, and it's a fun beer. It's a well-made, fun, cool take on that little twist of that rose edition. I think it's fun. I think it's tasty. I don't think it's a world beater. I don't think it's something I'm like, holy shit, this is amazing. It's just really well done, drinkable. Probably the biggest knock I have about it is I just want a slight bump in mouthfeel. It just comes off a little bit thin for me. Even though it is a low ABV stout, I just want a little bit more there. I'm sure that's trying to put as much chocolate in this as possible. So they're kind of like, okay, let's just go all chocolate malt as opposed to a combination of chocolate malt, maybe something like wheat or oats or something like that to kind of beef up the mouthfeel. I kind of just went with just straight chocolate malt to try to get as much chocolate as I can out of the beer. Yeah, that's probably it. But yeah, tasty, well done. This is going to be enjoyed, let's put it this way. This is my kind of beer. Low ABV, drinkable. You know, I'm a fan. I like it. It's just, that's the one thing about these lower ABV stouts. A lot of people are expecting a world when it comes to these nowadays to have this kind of big, huge impact 2x4 to the face. That's not the case. That's not what this beer is trying to be. What it's trying to be is, gentle and subtle, while at the same time being pretty. I think it kind of works. So let's talk about it. Is it one of the better low ABV stouts that I've had as of late? Yes, it's not Mount Rushmore status, but it's tasty nonetheless. Like I said, this beer will be enjoyed. Value and availability, Carton pretty much sees wide distro. I'm hoping this comes in right around $13 for a 4-pack. It's probably give or take right around there, and leave you with, if you like what we like this beer, if you like traditional low ABV, old school kind of stouts, you want a subtle twist on it, if you like drinking beers. I mean, that's where this one kind of lands. It does what it wants to do, and it does it well without getting too ostentatious. I don't know. I think that's a good thing. So maybe if you like those things, you'll like this beer too. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive. Want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing? I've interviewed Augie. I think it's like twice on there. You can go listen to it. It's pretty awesome. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a little bit of Valentine's Day beer right now. Hope to see you next time. Cheers.